We are today filming a very short extract from an amazing session where Colette Black from Essex Fire and Rescue Service delivered her findings of a research project she's recently did on positive action. So I'm going to ask Colette to just give us a high-level pitch on her research. What were the key findings and how Essex Fire and Rescue Service adopting those findings? Colette.
Thank you, Jag. So the purpose of the research was to understand whether the perception of psychological safety affected whether women were able to access positive action, and in particular had recent headlines around a culture of bullying, discrimination and misogyny made a difference to whether they were to the perception of psychological safety and whether women could access that positive action. And I think the findings were surprising. So I spoke to 33 women across 14 different fire and rescue services in total. And first of all, my thanks must always go to those people who were kind enough to take part, much appreciated. Shall I talk to you a little bit about what we found?
Yeah, what were the key findings from that research?
So overwhelmingly, the women that I spoke to described feeling psychologically safe, either through the application process to become firefighters or in their new roles as firefighters. They didn't recognise that they had been part of any positive action, but did go on to describe things that one might recognise as positive action. So things like days that were specifically aimed at women relating to fitness, for example, or have a go days. So overwhelmingly the headline is that participants did feel psychologically safe and able to access positive action, with of course caveats to recognise the fact that that won't be everyone's lived experience as we know.
So how would you be adopting the recommendations of your report in Essex? So some practical guidance to our AFSA members in other brigades.
Yeah, so there were 4 overwhelming themes. The first of those was regarding support. So the women that took part in our research had felt supported. And some of those forms of support were things like targeted fitness events. The benefit, though, surprisingly, was not in the fitness itself, but rather in the sense of connection and belonging and familiarity with the fire and rescue service that was gained from a day like that. So support was the first of the themes, and one of the recommendations relates to fitness, but when you look at all the research you'll see, of course, that there are other recommendations relating to support. The second theme relates to role models. So the need for visible role models was evident as a theme from the research. It didn't seem to matter so much whether those role models were operational or non-operational, simply that they were present. So that old adage that we know so well, but is still true, that to see it means that, absolutely. So we have role models, we have support, we have 2 more themes. The first of those is regarding belonging. So as you'll know, of course, it's a basic human need to feel that we belong, and some really positive feedback about that sense of belonging, as well as some less positive feedback about concepts of othering and seeing less positive, but mainly, predominantly a good sense of belonging, feeling part of the team. And that leads to a recommendation about how we can do more of that. So when we are attracting and selecting firefighters, how do we do more to share the sense of belonging that one gets potentially from being part of UKFRS? The last theme then around behaviours, and the theme includes the positive behaviours that were seen, but leads to some recommendations around training and action. So the positivity of existing training was recognised, and in particular the confidence that gave women to raise concerns when they saw them, and the ability, as with the definition of psychological safety, to learn, to contribute, to challenge, but also the ability to take corrective action where it was needed. So 4 themes, 10 recommendations that are articulated more fully in the research.
Okay. So my takeaway today from Colette's presentation and summary would be: 1, please read the report and contact Colette if you want some more advice and support on positive action. my second reflection is this is a journey we're on. In 2003, I wrote my report on positive action called Making a Difference. It's available on the internet, and I'm quite happy to share that. Similar learning to yourself in that report. But my other takeaways are that positive action is a legal definition, and you need to look at what we mean by that. You can find the legal definitions and good practice on the AFSA website, where we've got a toolkit produced by Capsticks. I think there's also a big confusion between positive action and positive discrimination. That has been, I won't say deliberately, but it has been misunderstood through the media and politicians. If you misunderstand positive action, positive discrimination, then I think all you need to do is, with all the AI tools we've got available, Google, Bard, ChatGPT, or just the Oxford Dictionary, just look up those definitions, because they are very clear and unequivocal. And I think the lack of case law in positive action also doesn't help us at all. And it would be helpful if we had more challenge. So I would encourage AFSA members and those that come onto the YouTube channel and hear this to say there is a lot of evidence out there that positive action works.
Yes.
As we said at the conference today, it is the moral case that reflect the community and the very best of the community, but also there's a clear business benefit. And that business benefit is you'll have more innovation, more ideas generated, you'll have less people leaving. There are pounds, shillings and pence attached to positive action. And that would be my final takeaway. Please look at the other website links that we got on YouTube. Please use the AFSA website. Please contact Colette, who's done the latest research on positive action. So she's the current expert. Thank you.
Thank you.